Hello everyone and welcome to episode 20 of the Free-to-Play Ultimate Ironman Progress. So we last left off, I was training runecrafting, I got to level 90 and then most of the way to level 91, finished up all of the bone fragments that I had stacked up from killing flesh crawlers for quite a while. And I was not planning to continue runecrafting after this, and that's where we left it. I've gotten a lot of questions about why did I stop runecrafting, or when am I going to finish 99? And the answer is never, or not anytime soon. I only wanted to use up the bone fragments that I already had so that they didn't go to waste. Otherwise, I wouldn't have trained runecrafting. The skill itself is alright. It's kind of satisfying because it's so slow, but it's not really that interesting. It's pretty easy and pretty low APM. And it's extremely slow, so if there are any updates in the future, it could be made a huge amount faster, and then a lot of my time would go to waste. So for the foreseeable future, I'm going to be avoiding runecrafting, but it's nice to have level 90 now so that I can use lamps and books and get a bit more XP. So the question is, what's next then? And the answer is fishing and cooking. Fishing and cooking are skills that I really enjoy training on free-to-play Ironman because there's a very high APM 3-tick method where you can train cooking 0 time and just get really fast total XP per hour, and it's fun, and I don't know, it's one of my favorite free-to-play skilling methods. So I went and bought some feathers and got all my supplies together to start doing some fishing and cooking. It's basically the polar opposite of runecrafting. It's the fastest skill and it's the highest APM skill. So I gathered all the feathers and fishing rod, and I also am going to need needle thread and leather for the tick manipulation method. And this was around Halloween time, so I also completed the Halloween event by just getting the sweets, or whatever they were called, passively from training fishing. Alright, it's been a while since I recorded a clip. It's almost the end of 2022 right now, so it's been almost 2 months since I finished the Runecraft grind, and haven't recorded anything since then. But basically all I've been doing is still AFKing U's when I need to AFK. So those are going up, getting close to 80 mil fire making now. And I've been fishing and cooking, mostly 3-tick fishing with 0-tick cooking. Right now I'm just AFKing because I don't know if I can talk while doing it. But yeah, I just hit 25 mil cooking, which is a nice milestone. I'm going to keep sending that upwards. I also did a little bit of prayer. I got from 75 to 80 prayer. I was doing boneyard with that. I don't know if I got any clips of it, but yeah, I was doing a double hopping method that I've seen Tanner Dino do for around like 15 to 17k XP an hour, but you run out of hops after 2 hours, so I had to skill hop. So I was doing prayer and then switching to this when I hit the hop limit. But recently, since I got 80, I've just kind of felt like focusing these two. Mostly just because I kind of want to gain fast XP right now. I'm kind of enjoying just like training the fast skills and going for post 99 XP, and prayer is just slow. And as I've talked about before, the slower it is, the more prone to damage from devaluation it is. So we'll see. I might keep training prayer in the future, but for now I'm kind of just sticking with the fishing cooking. So I'm actually top page UIM cooking XP now, not just free to play, but like all UIM, which is kind of cool. It really is like really easy. Just nobody trains cooking on UIM, I guess, because this is, even in free to play, that's still only like 200 hours or something. But yeah, rank there's 5 UIMs with 200 mil cooking, and rank 6 is like 60 mil XP. So I'm definitely gonna try to shoot for rank 6 cooking. There's just nobody else going for it that I can see, so it's kind of free. Get there in a few months time and maybe eventually send it straight to 200 mil. Be kind of cool to do the combo cooking and fire making 200 mils around the same time, like probably like mid 2024, and then, you know, fishing and woodcutting would be pretty close to done also.
Oh my god, bro. God damn, I'm really fucking sick right now. I have like COVID or the flu or something. I just got a stale baguette. What the fuck? I haven't been fishing for like a few days because I've been fucking like bedridden basically. I'm finally feeling a little bit better tonight. I was AFKing used most of the night, just watching TV. Decided to head over to the fishing spots because I was feeling alright. I get a sandwich lady and I just get a baguette straight away. That's insane, man. Random events is green. I've probably gotten like 15 to 20 sandwich ladies since they updated it so you can get the baguette from her. And only 2 of them have offered me the baguette so far. It was like, and it was actually either the last or the second last one that I got also offered a baguette. So this is like a 1 in 64 chance from getting the baguette option, which is a 1 in 8. So I think from Sandwich Lady alone, it's actually more rare than from Quizmaster. But now you have the combined, so it's less rare overall. But god damn, that's crazy. I can't believe I got this. What the hell do I do now? Like, I should just drop it, but I kind of want to keep it for a little while, you know? It's a dead inventory space because I have to carry an axe. But dude, what?
So I continued training fishing and cooking using the 3-tick fish and 0-tick cook method, commonly known as airy fishing. The only thing about this method is that whenever you don't catch a fish, you don't have a fish to eat, so you can't create a 3-tick cycle, and so that's where the leather comes in. And with leather, you can create a 4-tick cycle by trying to craft a leather item. So it's not perfect 3-tick fishing. So it was around mid-January, and I'd been training fishing and cooking for 2 or 3 months at this point. And I was thinking about if there was any way that I could make it so that fishing was actually perfect 3-tick instead of, like 3.15 tick or whatever it ended up averaging to with the catch rate of fish at 99 and having to 4-tick whenever you don't catch one. And many people already know you can 3-tick with snow, and snow is accessible to free-to-play. So I started thinking about if there's any way that I could integrate snow into this method so that I could 3-tick fish even if I didn't catch a fish and never have to 4-tick. So something that I remembered about particularly using food items to 3-tick is that you can actually eat the food item on the 2nd tick and not the 1st tick and still 3-tick fish. So I knew this from doing eat cut fishing at Barbarian, like Barbarian fishing with roe and caviar. With that method, you could either eat the roe and caviar on the 1st tick and cut on the same tick or on the next tick, or you could cut on the 1st tick and eat on the 2nd tick, and it would still work and create the same 3-tick cycle. I don't really know why this works, and it's only true of food items. Like, you can't do this with herb tara, knife log. It has to be on the 1st tick with those, but that's not true with food items. So in this clip here, you can see a demo of basically what this looks like. So instead of eating and cooking on the 1st tick, I cook on the 1st tick and eat on the 2nd tick, and I'm still 3-ticking, and it's the same speed. So this alone doesn't change things. In fact, if anything, it makes it worse, because whenever you don't catch a fish in this case, then it requires you to react within 1 tick if you want to get the leather to 4-tick, whereas before you had a bit more leeway time to react. However, this is what allowed me to be able to integrate snow into the method. So these are some of the first clips I recorded of me trying to learn and figure out this method. So I have a fire next to me and snow underneath me, and I'm using the method I talked about where I cook on the 1st tick and eat on the 2nd tick. And whenever I don't catch a fish, I have to 1-tick react and click on the snow, and then I can start the 3-tick cycle on the 1st tick doing that. So it works, it's viable, but it's pretty challenging to get that 1-tick reaction clicking on the snow. I was discussing this method with Tanner Dino, who's another very efficiency-focused free-to-play Ironman, and he and I bounced ideas off of each other to come up with this idea, so I don't want to take full credit for it. And actually another person came into the mix. I was posting some stuff about this on Discord, in some of the free-to-play Discords, and a player who is actually, I believe, going for 200 Malal on pay-to-play main, but is interested in free-to-play afterwards, by the name of Sarah Hagen, saw the footage and came up with a way to basically make it easier and make it more viable to do it consistently. And that is to click on the snow as the first click on every attempt and then do the cook after that. So that way you pre-click the snow, and if you don't catch a fish, then you don't have to one tick react because you've already clicked the snow. The downside is obviously that it's an extra click every 3 ticks, but I found this to be easier than to try to one tick react every time, because it makes it so you can kind of zone out a bit more and not focus as hard, and can look to the side and still just be clicking in the same exact pattern and not make as many mistakes. And doing it this way, you also pretty much need to use the custom menu sauce plugin to hide the walk here option. So that way you're incapable of, yellow X clicking on the world, like on any tile in the world. You can still click on the minimap, but this prevents you from, if you were to continue the clicking pattern when you don't catch a fish, so click snow, click inventory slot, and then click fire. If you didn't have this disabled, then you would click yellow X on the tile where the fire is, and then your character would move, and then it would mess up the cycle. So it's a bit more involved and requires some Runelight plugins and stuff to make it work. You can see also that I'm using a bunch of timers. Those are not really required, but they're just useful to have. Makes it so you don't have to think about when you need to spawn snow. You have an idea of when the fishing spot and when the fire might move. So even so, this method is still a pretty significant step up in difficulty from standard area fishing. It's an extra click every 3 ticks, from 4 clicks to 5 clicks. And it's a bit more complex clicking pattern. You're also spawning snow, so you have to keep track of the snow timing. And I am using an alt here to light fires. So I have a second account, and I'm clicking on that account whenever I need a new fire between ticks. So I spent a good amount of time learning this method, and at first I was getting pretty bad rates, definitely worse than the old method because I was just making so many mistakes. But I really wanted to stick with it because, this is something that I, in collaboration with a couple of other people, had come up with, and I knew that the potential was there for it to be more efficient than area fishing, and I really wanted to see if I could make that happen. So when it comes down to it, the difference between this method and area fishing is that you can almost completely perfectly 3-tick. It's still not 100% perfect, but it's very, very close. The only time when you wouldn't be able to 3-tick is if you don't catch a fish. Every other snow spawn, there's an interval where we don't get to pick up snow, because that's just how the snow spawn timing works. So if you don't catch a fish at just the right time, and it's like 1 in 17 fish or something, then you have to 4-tick with leather still. And that can be further reduced by keeping the previous fish before that, so that you'd have to actually fail 2 fish in a row at just the right time. So based on the math I did, that's going to happen an average of like 3 fish per hour out of, like upwards of 2,000 fish that you catch per hour. So for all intents and purposes, it's basically perfect 3-tick fishing, whereas area fish is 3.15 on average. And this increases the fishing XP rate by about 5%. So it's not a huge increase, but that's definitely something that adds up over time, going from, with perfect tick, probably from 95 to 100k, and with, average human player or good human player, even probably from 90k to 95k on average fishing XP per hour. And it basically makes cooking become 0 time, because you're no longer training fishing any slower if you're also cooking. In practice, I've found that I actually get slower cooking XP per hour doing this method than I do with area fishing, because I drop more fish than I otherwise would. And this is just because sometimes the fire goes out and I can't cook a fish for a few cycles while I relight it. Sometimes I make mistakes, and if I do, I just drop the fish. So my cooking XP rate used to be about 120k or so, and now it's more like 110k. But my fishing XP rate has increased, and that's what actually matters. So I'm getting like 5 to 7% faster fishing XP per hour. And EHP wise, that is a lot more significant, because I'm still getting higher cooking XP per hour than fishing XP per hour. And as long as that's true, cooking is basically 0 time. I'll finish cooking before I finish fishing. And even if I were to already have 200 mil cooking, it would still be efficient to do this method, or at least to do the method in between snow spawns so that I could keep the 3-tick cycle when the snow goes down, because it is the most consistent 3-ticking that you can possibly do for a free-to-play Ironman. And it's even quite good for free-to-play regs. This probably should be EHP for free-to-play regs because it just makes cooking 0 time. So I'm happy to be able to present this fairly minor optimization that makes the fishing and cooking a lot harder for 5% better XP per hour. It's fun to think about new methods, develop new methods, and have it actually work out. So this is the method that I'm doing from here on out. It's going to make 200 mil cooking take longer, actually, because as I said, the XP rate I'm getting is a bit slower. But by the time I finish 200 mil cooking, I'm going to have higher fishing than I otherwise would. Basically, it's looking like around 180 mil fishing XP from 200 mil cooking versus before it was going to be like 150 to 160.
All right, it's been a good run with the baguette. It's been a few weeks that I've been carrying it, and I think it's time to let it go because it's just a dead inventory slot and I can't keep it forever. But it's a fun item. I guess this is Barto's newbie pay-to-play weird account with some transformer-looking armor. I don't know what the hell that is. What are those boots? What are those? Oh, he does have an infernal cape, though. That's pretty cool. All right. I'm going to drop it to him. There it is, the baguette. All right, I just got the last XP book to get me my next Runecraft level, finally. And I'm inventory full. So, yeah, it's March 13th right now. So I've been done with the bone fragments for like 4 months. I finished those up in November, and I've just been continuing AFK use and then working on fishing and cooking since then. And of course all my XP lamps go into runecrafting because that's the slowest skill. And I was about 80k XP away from 91 when I stopped runecrafting. And the plan was, of course, just to finish that through XP lamps. So it's taken about 4 months to get 80k XP. So I guess let's do it. Nice. Double nats unlocked. First time getting a total level in a really long time. The only levels I've gained since getting 90 RC was 5 prayer levels, and I've stopped doing prayer since then because I just don't feel like it. So taking a look at temple, this is... Well, actually, I guess I could log out and then update to get the last little bit of XP. 77,850 Runecraft XP, and this is in just over 4 months. Is basically to the exact day that I stopped runecrafting. So yeah, I've gained 900 EHP, but actual play time is probably an extra couple hundred hours since with use I get under EHP. So call it like 1,000 or 1,100 hours. So basically it's like 70 Runecraft XP per hour all the time whenever you're playing. I guess if I was 99 instead of 90, then that would be an extra like 7k XP or something. 600k XP until 92. So if I just play like 9,000, 8 or 9,000 more hours, then I'll get another level for free. Easy peasy. But yeah, other than that, close to 97 mil fire making. So another couple weeks and I'll be at 100 mil, which would be a pretty cool milestone. Almost halfway done with 200 mil fire making. And I passed 40 mil fishing yesterday and 43 mil cooking. But they just talked about forestry a bit more, and everything passed the poll except for the bond or the campfire boosts working for Ironman, which failed by like 0.2%, and only Ironmen could vote on it. Sad that so many Ironmen don't want to play Ironman mode. But anyways, so that's coming out, and it will be free to play, some of it. They're changing tree depletion mechanics so that more players chopping the tree actually is beneficial rather than making it more likely to go down. So now basically you need 10 alts to be able to get the best woodcutting XP rate, which is stupid. And I'm not a huge fan of the fact that they're changing tree depletion mechanics because like there's really not a big issue with tree competition. I'm in free to play and this spot almost never has anybody here on any world. So and there are plenty of spots with willow trees that are uncontested. So I don't know. I just don't see the point of changing it. Why change something that's been the same for the last 20 years?
but it's still yet to be seen what kind of impact that will have on woodcutting and fire making in terms of EHP rates. I'm guessing it won't really affect fire making because it doesn't sound like anything is going to change the rate at which you get logs, and that's what would matter for fire making. And ultimately, I guess what really matters for fire making is the rate at which you burn logs, and I don't think they're doing any kind of like bonfires or anything like that. So it may not affect EHP because fire making is what matters. Woodcutting is 0 time. It's probably going to make it so that the woodcutting to fire making ratio is higher though, because you get these woodcutting events that give XP but don't give any fire making XP. So I might not need to do any woodcutting. Maybe I'll just be able to finish woodcutting through fire making after all. And then there's all this like tea and campfire shit, which is still very unclear as to how big of an impact it will have, but it sounds like it could affect a bunch of other skills. So who knows what that will look like, but we'll just have to wait and see. That's coming out in 3 months. So probably just going to keep doing what I'm doing until then, and then we'll see what happens. And then maybe I'll have to skill hop. Who knows? All right, good morning, gamers. I just got 100 mil fire making XP, which is pretty sweet. I was burning some oak logs to get the exact screenshot, so now I can go back to use. I actually had to log off the phone game last night so that I could get this clip on the computer this morning. But yeah, look at that. 100 mil fire making XP, so I'm halfway done. This is the end of March of 2023, and I expect it will take another probably like 14 to 15 months to finish 200 mil fire making at my current pace. So we're looking at summer 2024. Started the grind of post 99 in like February, March of 2022. So yeah, it's going to be a sad day when I run out of views, because this is like the best AFK EHP ever. And 90 mil woodcutting XP right now, 46 mil cooking, 42 mil fishing. Stats are going up. Total XP is flying because I'm only doing fast skills right now. So yeah, game is fun. Nice. 1/4 of the way there. ETA, like 1 year for 200 mil, I think. So yeah, just hit 50 mil cooking, and I think that's where I'm going to conclude the progress for this vid. This is what the progress has been since the last video in XP gains. So a little bit of prayer. I did that from like mid-November to early December, so just a few weeks. I was skill hopping between prayer and this, and from an EHP perspective currently it would be smart for me to continue doing that, because with prayer after 2 hours you run out of hops, so you have to do something else if you play more than 2 hours at a time. And you have to be in the wilderness at the boneyard, so you can't take anything valuable. So there's only some skills that it's really viable to skill hop with for UIMs, one of which is cooking, because the feathers just are not worth much money and you don't have anything else. But that being said, I can get 99 prayer 0 time from killing monsters in the future. So it's really only necessary for the 200 mil mindset, which 200 mil prayer is not an achievable goal for me. It's like 15k XP an hour, and you can only do 2 hours a day, or like maybe 4 hours a day with 2 hop limits in a day. So that's just not going to happen basically. And chances are sometime down the line prayer will be made faster, so I'd rather not sink a ton of hours into it. So yeah, I just got prayer to 80, left it there, and then just started fully focusing on fishing and cooking in my free time, and woodcutting and fire making whenever I need to AFK. And as far as why I'm doing post 99 XP rather than finishing maxing, I just don't really care about maxing. It's not a priority for me. I still have crafting, prayer, bit of smithing, and runecrafting left, and smithing and I guess magic, but that's a 0 time skill. Smithing and magic I'll definitely finish in the future, because I'll be doing combats and collecting runes and then using those up. But runecrafting and crafting are just not really a priority for me. I think runecraft will be devalued eventually, and I don't want to sink a huge amount of time into a really slow skill that's so vulnerable to that. And crafting I just think is kind of boring, so I don't train it. but maybe I'll get 99 sometime. I don't know. Basically, my focus is just on EHP and playing this account with a long-term mindset. So I feel like it's kind of smart for me to do faster skills right now because they're just not as prone to devaluation. So I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing at least until forestry comes out, and then we'll see if forestry shakes up the meta in a way that would make me want to skill hop. But yeah, if nothing changes, then I think I probably will continue what I'm doing until I finish these 200 mils. So I'll be doing the same thing for another year or so. And yeah, I'm enjoying the game a lot, and my progress has been really solid. So it's kind of nice to be back to efficient skilling that I actually enjoy, getting 1-to-1 EHP and enjoying the game also, because I can't really do that on my main anymore, and that's part of why I quit the game. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the vid. I'll be back at the next XP milestone or forestry if things change a lot, whatever comes first. And if you liked the last video with just a discussion topic and you want to hear me discuss any other topics, those are easy videos for me to make. So maybe I can upload more frequently if there are topics that you guys want to hear about. So yeah, leave a comment if you have any ideas. Thanks for watching, and see ya.